Hello, and welcome to another episode of Forging a Future in Haiti. My name is Kate Schuenke-Lucien. I'm Director for Haiti Programs at the University of Notre Dame's Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child. Our center works to create pathways out of adversity for the world's most vulnerable children. In 25 countries, the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child leverages evidence-based innovations to develop effective whole child development approaches to not only advance children's academic achievement, but also to create safe, supportive, and equitable family, school, and community environments. Managing one of the fastest growing research portfolios on the University of Notre Dame's campus, the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child integrates research and practice, learning and doing, in all of its work from the beginning. Today's episode is really exciting for me because I'm being joined by two incredible guests who are deeply involved in Haiti's development efforts. Father Herald Jean from the University of Notre Dame, Ingenuity, Haiti, and Chip Wirth, the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child Senior Advisor for Social Enterprise Initiatives. Together, we are concluding this three-part series on forging a future for children in Haiti, Notre Dame's history in Haiti, the work that has been done to bolster the resilience of Haitian children and families, what we've learned through our implementation science initiatives, and the work that we hope to accomplish in the future. We hope that you'll find your experience with Forging a Future for Haiti to be insightful and engaging. We hope you stay connected not only to us here at the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child, but to our global learning community on ThinkND. This episode is possible thanks to the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child, the Institute for Educational Initiatives, ThinkND, and the Notre Dame Alumni Association. So again, I'm really delighted to have both Chip and Father Herald here with me today. Father Herald has traveled all the way from Haiti to be here with us, and Chip came all the way from Norfolk, Virginia. So we have quite the eclectic group here. But we're going to be discussing how the church is playing a key role in creating sustainable change in Haiti, how social enterprise initiatives like mailboxes, etc., are helping the local economy, and how the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child Social Enterprise Initiative is working to build local solutions for long-term impact. So Father Herald and Chip, thank you both so much for being here with me today.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everyone. I greet you. It is a pleasure to be here today.
Same with me, Kate. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. So I'm excited for our discussion today. I wanted to start off by giving Father Herald a chance to introduce himself a little bit and let us know who he is. Chip, I'll probably come to you after that to get a little bit of an introduction as well. How you got started in this enterprise with us, and as our founder likes to say, our conspiracy of goodness here at the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child. If people have been listening to this series, they realize that the Catholic Church has a really deep connection within Haitian communities, and that we at the Global Center and the University of Notre Dame have been actively working with the church to support children's development for well over a decade now. I wondered if you could first introduce yourself and then talk a little bit about the role of the church in creating sustainable impact, especially in the context of parish schools and networks and community development.
Yes, Kate. I am Father Herald, priest of the Diocese of Inge. I was born and raised in Inge. I am director of the Pastoral of Health Care for all Haiti and the Diocese of Inge. I am also chaplain of St. Therese Hospital in Inge. I am a member of the National Bioethics Committee, and I have a doctorate in bioethics. The University of Notre Dame, Haiti, has a location in each diocese, and I founded the Inge location in 2012 with the former bishop of Inge, a Holy Cross priest, Monseigneur Simon-Pierre Saint-Cylien. I am currently the executive vice rector of the university.
Okay, so that's a really impressive resume. Chip, I don't know if you feel the same. I almost feel a little unqualified to be here with Father Herald. He wears so many hats and he wears them so well. And Father Herald, I just want to say, knowing you personally and having seen your work in Haiti, I know that you're a priest who dedicates so much energy and love to the community of Inch and the country of Haiti, and they're really lucky to have you.
Well, Kate, that is our mission. The Catholic Church in Haiti is an integral part of daily life. It's woven into fabric of Haitian society, from schools to health center to community outreach. The Global Center has recognized this and is leveraging the church reach and influence to activate change at the grassroots level. One key example is how we have worked with parish priests to integrate childhood development messaging into their sermons. By doing this, we are not just thinking about spiritual development, but also holistic child development. Priests are in a position of trust. So when they speak about the importance of early childhood education, mental health, and social emotional development, it resonates with the community. We have also started offering preparation courses for parents, godparents, and families, which empowers them to raise healthy, intelligent, and spiritually alive children. This connection between science and theology has a profound impact. Kate, I have to tell you how passionate I am about education at all levels in Haiti. I truly believe education is the way that we can change the future of Haiti. In all of my different roles as a priest, I am thinking about how I can help train teachers so they will have a positive impact on their students who will grow up and be able to teach next generation what they have learned. If we want to make a lasting difference in Haiti, we need to educate the next generation. I'm trying to use all the avenues I have in my role as a priest and with the University of Notre Dame to support sustainable education. Education is happening in families, in healthcare, in business, and in school. Chip's work in social enterprise is an example for this approach that we need in Haiti.
Well, I couldn't agree more, Father Harold, that this multifaceted approach, education in all areas is necessary to really change outcomes in Haiti. Chip, I think it would be really helpful. Maybe if you could just give a little introduction to yourself and who you are and how you came. I know that this is a passion of yours. You've been working in Haiti for a long time. So maybe talk a little bit about how you came to do that and also how you came to partner with the Global Center and why you are interested in social enterprise and what that can possibly do to support folks like Father Harold on the ground.
Thanks, Kate. Well, I think it's important for people listening to us to understand. I believe you've had previous discussions on this approach as far as the activation of the Catholic Church worldwide in the United States, Haiti, and Africa, everywhere else where we're working. And this approach has been sponsored by our leader, Dr. Neil Boothby and Father Lou. They did an excellent job of capturing that in their book, talking about this L3. And I think it's an instance where L3, meaning the fact that you encompass home, school, and church into the overall process, and you're going to get positive results out of it by activating existing Catholic systems. The United States can learn greatly from Haiti as far as the approach they've taken. I've worked in Haiti for going on 30 years. I've worked with Notre Dame for 15 years on various projects in the country, the SALT project that you're well aware of. And also I've worked with Father Harold for over a decade, putting together a series of projects or businesses in Haiti. We have 4 going on 5 different businesses that we've set up in Haiti that are all, I wouldn't necessarily use the word thriving, but as of today, they're successful. The idea is to find ways in which social enterprise can do good for the community, at the same time try to create wealth within the community and make money that can be plowed back in to the educational process. That's our goal.
So, Chip, I will say this as someone who often is working on a grant cycle of a couple of years, we really came to you or at the right time. We have these projects that we do and they're great, but there's a life cycle to the projects. We want things to be able to continue and we want there to be sustainable change where outside funding is not always needed because I'll just be honest, in this current environment we're in where funding sources are it's tricky, right? Funding sources are being cut. Governments are changing their minds about investments they want to make. It's really important to have something that's sustainable and can stand the test of time. That's where you came in and said, hey, I've got this great idea. You're an entrepreneur and a business person by trade, someone who's cared about Haiti and has been proving that in your life, putting your extra time, effort, and treasure into making sustainable change in Haiti and investing in local leadership. And you came to us where you said, hey, I have an idea for a business. I could do this business in Haiti and the profits are being put back into education in Haiti. Could you talk to us just a little bit about MBE, mailboxes, et cetera? Could you talk about what that is, what social enterprise is now, and how did that come about?
The mailbox initiative that Father Harold is in charge of in Haiti was born out of some conversations with our director, Neil Boothby, talking about just the idea of how we can generate funds for schools in Haiti at the school level. And there were some discussions about setting up print shops, for instance. My family is involved with some shipping businesses in the Chesapeake, Norfolk area. I mentioned to Neil about the idea that we could also bring in doing printing, which is part of the business model of what we do locally, but we could also bring in the idea of shipping product from the United States, or that Haitians had the ability then to purchase products in the United States and ship it into Haiti. Before we started this, there was really no way to do that in a speedy fashion. The implications that could have on that e-commerce would have then on businesses and health related situations in Haiti could be dramatic. I suggested to Neil that we look at this, and this mailbox concept came about as a result. We went to Father Harold and brought in some managers that he was aware of, and they're running the show down there. Despite all the unrest over the past couple of years, the project is functioning and we are profitable. The cool thing is that the project is working. We are able to, within a 1 week time, take a package, ship it into a Miami warehouse, and then it goes into Haiti and distributed to the actual purchaser. And so, and I want to emphasize that I've just served as an outside advisor on this. This project is owned, operated, and controlled by Father Harold and his team in Haiti. And we have offices, I should not use the word we, they have offices in Cap Haitian and in Hinche.
So that local leadership, you touched on something that's really important. Not only is the idea to have a social enterprise in Haiti that's generating profits. We'll talk about that in a minute, how we are hoping as the profits increase, being in the black is a great thing. You want to be in the black, right? Yeah, you don't want to be in the red. I'm not a business person. But yeah, so we're getting in the black and the model is up and running and we think has the potential to generate more profits in the future. And the idea here is that those profits will be invested in schools and education. I should have mentioned one of the main things we struggle with in Haiti in the schools that we work with is they often don't have enough money to pay for teacher salaries. So students have to pay a tuition. It's not a large tuition, but to families, it is a significant amount of money. And often teachers aren't able to be paid. The idea here was that we would reinvest the profits with the parish community so that they could continue to support their schools and the students and teachers that serve them. But you mentioned local leadership. Father Harold, could you talk a little bit about the role of local leaders in ensuring the sustainability of initiatives like Mailbox in the long run?
Oh, yes. This is very important. Our current Bishop, Herald Jean, has has been focusing on local leadership and autonomy since 2016. He is focused on financial autonomy for improvements within the diocese. And I am so glad that he has this focus. Sometimes we might need assistance to get something started. And we are so grateful for the initial investment that partners like Chip make. They do this out of love and solidarity. But Chip knows, and we know, that if local leaders in Haiti are empowered, they will be the engine that can keep social enterprises like MBE running and generating profits that are invested in the community for generations to come. Thank you.
We recently opened a campus that has been 5 years in the making, where entrepreneurial skills are being taught on a 2-year degree program. And I think it's pretty unique, the name that has been attached to it. It's Our Lady's Partnership, because we have the University of Notre Dame South Bend and the University of Notre Dame in Haiti. And it is a truly Our Lady's Partnership, because that's the spirit in which we're operating in. But in this school, we are encouraging entrepreneurship, again, with a 2-year degree. And from this school, we are hoping to get and have more startups, entrepreneurial-based projects come out of this, much like what we've already got working. For instance, we have 4 different businesses underway. None of these are owned by Notre Dame South Bend or myself, but we're associated with them through sponsorships and serving as advisors and such. They're all owned and operated out of Haiti, which I think is important. We have our salt project, where we're bringing salt in for the prevention of disease and iodine deficiency. That is flourishing. We have containers where we've built, and we have the capacity to build in Haiti, take shipping containers and build them into libraries, that we've done 10 of those already and placed them throughout Haiti. The MBE program, which I mentioned earlier, in CAP and in Hinche. We also have a laboratory established at the University of Notre Dame for research-based projects. We just finished our second round of testing school children for various vitamin deficiencies. We just finished that 2 weeks ago, where we're actually able to do low-cost testing of children in Haiti, and quite dramatic results.
Yeah.
Where we discovered that large percentages of the children in our school actually suffer from anemia. And so we're seeing the results. And again, you're going to hear me keep reemphasizing that these projects are all Haitian owned, Haitian operated, and Haitian led.
Yeah.
That we are 100% in a support mode. That's a different business model than what has been done previously in the 30 years I've been working in Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it truly is the leadership of the Global Center that has led to this.
Well, and Chip, we couldn't do it if we didn't have partners. It's kind of providential to have partners like you, Father Herald, and a university that's established. I should have just pointed out for listeners, the University of Notre Dame, Haiti-Hinche, it's in the Central Plateau, the central region of Haiti. It's a predominantly rural area, and the university serves as a huge hub. It's a wonderful place to invest long-term if you want to have some of these sustainable initiatives. I think, Chip, that's why you said you've invested several different projects, right, with Father Harold's leadership and other local leaders in Hinche. You talked about one thing I thought was really, I want to maybe talk a bit more about. Have you explain it and then have Father Harold talk about its impact in the community? You mentioned shipping containers. They had been shipped into Haiti and repurposed. Solar power is added to them. They serve as libraries, but even more as digital libraries. There's tablet computers that we've been able to put in there, in addition to physical books, all kinds of activities. They're a resource center or a learning center that's open to the community and can be put in any location. And it's much lower cost than building a large building and a foundation. Could you just talk a little bit about how you came up, or where did the idea of these? I like your story about how you kind of came up with this idea of community learning centers built out of shipping containers?
The idea of the shipping containers came when I was in Haiti with Neil Booth, our director. We were visiting various schools about the concept of building libraries, learning center libraries at various schools throughout Haiti. And visiting these schools, and my background is in construction, I noticed that each one of these is going to have to be different. There was no way that we could get a common blueprint to utilize in order to control costs and such. And be because each school, it was just the construction of each school was different, and where they're talking about putting the container or putting the library was different. And for some reason, it just hit me. Why don't we just take shipping containers and convert them into libraries? Neil thought that was an idea worth exploring. We left Haiti. I went home again. My company, we do home construction and commercial development. We decided to take up the cause, and I told Neil we would build a few prototypes and see how it goes. And we were successful. My daughter did the design work on the containers, and then we went to work constructing them. Then we brought in, at Father Harold's recommendation, an incredible contractor to the United States and from Haiti in order to see how we were doing. Now we had the in-house knowledge in Haiti to do these. They're unique, and the idea is that each one is the same, but so that we didn't run into this issue that I'd mentioned earlier, each one was going to be different. The costs were just going to go through the roof, and that there were readily available shipping containers. And the other neat thing about them is that they're earthquake proof, because you're not tying it into the ground at all with a foundation. And so they can move with the earth. And as we know, Haiti is prone to earthquakes. They're easily transportable throughout the country. And we converted, an actor came in, he installed them for us in Haiti. He did all the solar systems. And to the best of my knowledge, they've been extremely well received. And we have the option now to build them in country at a fraction of the cost in the United States.
I love seeing them in use in Haiti. They personalize them. Every community that we've been able to place one in, they have a blessing ceremony. They open them, and they've been painting the outsides and kind of making them very colorful and inviting. They do have libraries, but it's even more than that. It's a community space with all different kinds of things and activities that children can do for continuous learning. Father Harold, I think you have one in your community, correct? We have a community learning center.
I would just want to add a little bit about the Community Learning Center. We have one in the University Notre Dame of Hinche campus. It is a really innovative program for the children in the area. Children love it and are so excited to come and use the material that are available. They are there every weekend, Friday to Sunday. We use the community learning centers to train teachers with the philosophy of world child development.
And that's been my experience with the ones placed in Cap Haitian too. They seem like they're active, lively, engaging spaces. When school is closed, which often happens for a variety of reasons in Haiti, they're able to open up those community learning centers and have volunteer staff. That's one thing has been lovely to see, is communities taking ownership and managing these learning centers and having shifts where different volunteers will come in and work and make sure that that space is open so kids have a space to play, be active, and be engaged. Well, it's been really lovely for us in Cap Haitian as well, just echoing what Father Harold said. Those community learning centers have been really vibrant spaces that are open when school is closed because of natural disasters or socio-political issues. But it's been really lovely to see how volunteers in the community have taken over those centers and really run them and staff them and make sure that they're open and that it's a space for children and their parents to engage in. One of the ways that we've been thinking a lot about, just coming back to mailboxes, et cetera, or MBE, we use both to describe that social enterprise. We talked about how you recently have just been able to get into the black, which is a good thing. As you're working out the kinks in the business model and adjusting to things, that you're hoping that you're going to generate more profits. The idea is for those profits to be reinvested to support education in Haiti. Can you talk a little bit about the thinking behind that?
Sure. I want to emphasize, actually, it's kind of funny. while I was sitting here thinking about it, is that I really am no longer involved on the day-to-day management with the mailbox stores. That's Father Harold and his team. I'm aware of what they're doing from the outside, but as we went through the transition from me to them, we started making money. So I guess that's a lot about my skills in that regard. Father Harold and his team have done an incredible job. The airport's closed in Port-au-Prince. And when that happened, the business model went into the trash can because they were shipping their product Miami into Port-au-Prince. Father Harold and Wilbert and Connus, the managers of the project, came up with a concept on their own. They decided they could bring it in through the Dominican Republic, and they were able to do it at half the cost rather than waiting 2 to 3 weeks for a package to be delivered. It's now a matter of days. And so I think overall, Kate, there's some lessons there, is that we have these negative connotations in regards to certain situations, and Haiti might be one of them. But the frustrating thing for me is when you hear all these stories about the unrest that is occurring in Port-au-Prince, and it's god awful, 2/3 of the country is functioning without a central government. And when you get involved like I have versus our SALT project or with the MBE and Father Harold's team or the containers and such, it's amazing entrepreneurial spirit that exists there. They're hungry. I know people say that and it sounds cliched, but it's not. I would love to have people come and just see and talk to these people and see that enthusiasm they have for business, for life, the love they have for each other, for the church, and for God. Everything we're doing, everybody we work with, that's the spirit. It's a very faith-based group of people that know how to get things done despite the adversity we're constantly facing. Father Harold and I today at lunch, we're talking about different aspects of what's going on in the country and the workarounds occurring for us to be able to function. I'm not saying we're thriving. Sure, we would be doing much better if there wasn't the unrest, but we're getting it done.
Yeah. There's an ingenuity of spirit and a can-do attitude about working around those obstacles. Given that, I have every confidence that the business is going to continue to grow and generate those profits. How do you see those being invested? The idea was not just to generate profit for profit's sake. We had a goal. That's the kind of the idea of social enterprise, right? Like that profit's going to be, you're harnessing business to generate profits that can be reinvested for the greater good.
I can remember my conversations with Neil on that subject when we were talking about that and how do we get money into these schools on a sustainable basis. When he was telling me a school of 300 kids, the cost for the teachers total for that number of teachers for 300 kids, $15,000 a year, and yet they couldn't make payroll. If we can generate $15,000 a year for each school, they can pay their teachers. I don't think people understand from the outside just the sometimes the depth of the poverty that exists within the country, that they don't have $15,000 a year. And many times the teachers will go for long periods without being paid so they can educate the children. And so our goal is to generate money from these various projects and be able to utilize it towards supporting these schools.
Yeah. And again, that frees the schools up to have that security and longevity of knowing that the teachers, I think that just also teachers show up to teach even when they're not getting paid. But think about how much, I mean, it's about dignity for those teachers as well, right? Like it's a dignity issue. They're showing up and coming to work. We want to make sure that they're being paid so they can support their families. It's kind of a virtuous cycle, right? Things improve in the school, but things also improve in the community and everybody benefits. So I just can't stress enough, Chip. We're really glad. We feel so blessed and grateful that this gentleman from Norfolk, Virginia or Chesapeake Bay, sometimes I get it wrong.
Chesapeake, Virginia.
Chesapeake, Virginia has come into our orbit. People can make choices about what they do with their extra time and treasure. It really means a lot that you choose to spend your extra time and treasure just really investing. And I think to me, I know that you are a faithful, lifelong Catholic, and your faith animates your commitment to this. You see the global church have a commitment, solidarity, and a desire to accompany your brothers and sisters in the church in Haiti and other places. I'm grateful that you make that choice to spend your time in that way.
And Kate, let me add to that. One of the frustrating things for me, just for 30 years, 70 visits or so into Haiti, is that when Father Harold, he's a poster child for what I'm talking about. I wish people in our country could see the Catholic Church in action in Haiti and just across the board, whether it's the hospital systems, the school, we're the only essentially functioning school system within the country, the parish life, the different agricultural projects that are ongoing, just the support system and what our church is actually accomplishing. People listening to this will get an idea just by hearing Father Harold talk of what that really represents, what our church is accomplishing in Haiti.
Yeah. Well, as we wrap up, Father Harold, I'd like to turn it over to you and ask where you see the future of the University of Notre Dame. How do you see the university playing a role in Haiti's development, and what do you see coming?
Good question. Thank you. You know, the title of the university for each diocese in Haiti is UDERS. The meaning of UDERS is Diocesan Unity of Teaching, Research, and Service. This really encapsulates the vision and mission of the university. My dream is to bring this name to life in the community. When I teach young people to do research, I am doing it so that they can serve their community in the future. When I speak about teaching research, it is teaching students to be future leaders, not followers. They are to be able to be leaders for themselves and for their community.
Well, thank you both so much. That's a beautiful note to end on, Father Harold. And I hope you know that Chip and myself and the Global Center and the University of Notre Dame are behind you and support you as you lead this push forward into training those future leaders that are going to change Haiti and improve the situation. So thank you both, Chip and Father Harold, for being part of this conversation.
Hey, Kate, I forgot one of our social enterprises, which is one of the most important for Father Harold. We created and sponsor a soccer team in Hinche. Last year, our soccer team won their regional or their league championship in its second year of existence. So
Yes.
that's a passionate part of Haitian life. One of our major successes is our sponsored soccer team. What we make the young men do is we want them to be coaches for youth leagues. If they're getting any stipend from us, they have to give back to the community. So
I
I'm
love it.
sure Father Harold, that's one of our big ones.
Yes.
There's a rumor that Father Harold is quite the soccer player himself. Is it true? I heard a story about the priests playing the police officers. That's a big game that you have every year.
Not every year.
But do you win? Who wins usually?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to take that as the priests win. Thank you so much for joining us this month on Think ND. On behalf of the Global Center for the Development of the Whole Child and Think ND, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't listened to the first two, that you'll go in and join in. And if you have any questions about the Global Center and our work in Haiti and social enterprise, that you'll reach out to us. We are always looking for partnerships and would love to engage you. Until next time, inspire your mind and spark conversations.